When faced with adversity, how far would you be willing to go to change your destiny? Feng Shui, a traditional practice originating from ancient China, claims to harness the energy between individuals and their surroundings to influence their fortunes in life. For centuries, Feng Shui has held a mysterious allure, leading some to pay a hefty price in hopes of altering their fate and attaining a prosperous existence. However, what nobody anticipated was the horrifying darkness concealed beneath this seemingly harmless belief. In a chilling incident that shook the city, a mother, her two teenage daughters, and two women friends were tragically discovered dead in what appeared to be a suicide pact. The grim discovery unfolded on a fateful night in Kowloon Bay, Hong Kong, leaving the community stunned and searching for an answer. Welcome to Killers Among Us. Get ready to immerse yourself in a chilling investigation of Feng Shui master murder case that happened in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a bustling metropolis with a massive population. When you look up, and you will see a concrete jungle formed by towering buildings. Among these structures, Telford Gardens stand proudly next to the Kowloon Metro Station. Telford Gardens is a sprawling community comprised of 41 residential towers, directly managed by the Hong Kong Metro Corporation. It is known for being a highly sought-after residential complex. However, on July 22, 1998, tranquility was shattered within this residential behemoth, home to thousands of families. On that fateful day, a deafening sound pierced the air. In the afternoon, a woman named Yao, who had long battled illness and despair, leaped from the T-block of Telford Garden. Curious onlookers peered out of their windows, and residents promptly alerted the police. Responding swiftly to the residents' report, the police arrived at the scene. Inside the woman's apartment, they discovered a farewell letter. Despite the revelation within this letter of the woman's suicide intentions, the police meticulously investigated every residential unit in the vicinity. They went door to door, questioning the residents about any information related to the woman. During their visit, as they traversed Telford Gardens T block, they encountered silence from one particular unit on the 5th floor of the C block. The door received no response, and hanging on it was a circular mirror with a red fretted pair of scissors entwined within. The police found their site immensely arid. Despite knocking repeatedly, no one answered. The police make a note of it, deciding to return on another day for further investigation. The following day, the police received a report from a businessman. It was Andrew Kim Chun-lai, the chairman of Keith Holding Limited. Andrew was a prominent figure in the Hong Kong business world, primarily involved in the printing industry. During the phone call, Andrew informed the police that his wife, Lee Chun-lai, had withdrawn around 700,000 Hong Kong dollars in cash from the company on the previous day. Initially, she had promised to return the money to the company on the same day. However, Andrew was now unable to reach his wife, raising concerns. The police immediately took notice of this phone call. After all, the person reporting the incident was a prominent figure in the Hong Kong business community. They swiftly initiated an investigation into Lin's life and recent contacts. The police discovered that Lin was a devoted believer in Feng Shui and regularly attended religious events with several other wealthy wives in the vicinity of Kowloon Bay. Witnesses revealed that Lin had been seen entering Block C of Telford Garden with her friends. As the clues slowly surfaced, the police returned to this peculiar residence, previously inaccessible to them. With no response from room 541, The officer decided to break in. Inside, the air conditioning was set to a lower temperature. Notably, a mirror hung on the window of the room with a red threaded pair of scissors attached to it. What the police witnessed was truly horrifying. 5 bodies lay lifeless in different parts of the house, each bearing a grotesque expression of pain and agony. In the house, a woman dressed in Taoist robe lay on the living room floor, while the kitchen and bathroom each held another woman in similar attire. 2 young girls occupied the bathrooms. All 5 individuals had facial contortions, tightly clenched teeth, and were confirmed to be deceased after identity verification. The woman in the living room was Tsui Shun-kam, the 41-year-old owner of the apartment. Lee Chun-lai, 49, and Tsui Shun-kam, 45, were found in the kitchen and bathroom, respectively. Tsui Shun-kam's 2 daughters, which were 17 and 15 years old, were discovered in the bedrooms. Within just 2 days, Telford Gardens became the backdrop for a loss of 6 lives, sending shockwaves through Hong Kong society. Inside room 501, items used for ceremonial rituals were on display, including incense, paper money, eggs, talismans, and more. The police also discovered 3 handwritten notes detailing various troubles written by Lin, Chai, and Shu. The notes mention issues such as affair and marital discord. At first glance, it seems like suicide notes, leading the police to suspect a collective suicide. Initially, the police suspected that they had been influenced by a cult and committed suicide. However, there were many suspicious aspects surrounding the 5 deaths in room 501 of Block C. Firstly, all 5 individuals died from cyanide poisoning, but the police did not find any containers containing cyanide at the scene. Cyanide poisoning typically results in unconsciousness, cardiac arrest, and immediately death within 15 minutes to an hour. If the dosage of cyanide is large enough, the individual would lose consciousness and die within 1 to 2 minutes. It is highly unlikely that all 5 individuals, after being poisoned, would have calmly disposed of the containers holding the cyanide. It simply doesn't make sense. Secondly, Lin and Tide had withdrawn a total of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars before their disappearance. Due to the significant withdrawn amount, Ben staff had asked about the purpose of the funds. At that time, both Lin and Tai assured the band that they would soon deposit the money back. However, none of this cash was found inside room 501. Thirdly, the families of the victims all stated that they had no suicidal tendency. With these unanswered questions in mind, the police had no choice but to shift their investigation towards the direction of murder. But as the police delved deeper into the investigation, they discovered that the case was far from straightforward. After meticulously examining the footsteps of the 5 deceased individuals, a key name emerged as the focal point of the police investigation. Li Yuhui, a native of Guangdong who had originally opened a hair salon in China. Drawn by the strong belief in Feng Shui among the people of Hong Kong, Li made his way to Hong Kong in 1995. Initially, he frequently traveled between Hong Kong and mainland China, assuming the role of a Feng Shui master each time he arrived in Hong Kong, offering fortune-telling service. After Hong Kong's return in 1997, Li's visits to Hong Kong became even more frequent, and he would always perform fortune-telling for people during his visits. Li's services were extensive, including warding off evil spirit, ensuring safety, and bringing prosperity and longevity. Gradually, Li gained recognition and popularity in Hong Kong. his Feng Shui business began to thrive, and he earned the title of Feng Shui Master, which opened up lucrative opportunities within this prosperous industry. He conducted rituals in his own residence, regularly organizing religious ceremonies, and gradually built a loyal following. In 1998, he met Tsui Shun-kam, one of the deceased individuals in this case, who happened to be a wealthy woman. One day, Lee encountered Shu's 17-year-old daughter on the street. Lee casually asked her, who was a student at the time, about her troubles. Astonishingly, without knowing anything about her, he miraculously mentioned her surname and troubles in life. Upon returning home, the girl immediately shared the encounter with her mother. After some time had passed, Shu decided to seek out Lee. Once again, he displays his extraordinary abilities by accurately providing information about her family, such as the number of people in the household and their zodiac signs. From that point on, Shu developed a deep trust in him. She often brought along her wealthy friends, Lee Chun-lai and Tsui Shun-kam, who were also high society ladies, to consult with him for fortune-telling and Feng Shui advice. However, these three afferent women were unaware that this seemingly harmless belief would eventually lead them to a fatal catastrophe. On one occasion, she invited Lee to her residence on the 5th floor of Block C in Telford Gardens to assess the Feng Shui and improve the luck of her family. As he thought and planned, he came up with a perfect plan. On July 21st, 1998, Lee pretended to hold a birthday celebration for three wealthy women and invited Tsui Shun-kam, her children, her friend Lin and Tsai to her house for a ritual. At first, Lee had Shu's children carry his pre-made water to expel the evil spirit. Then, he asked the other three women to write down their worries and place them, along with the 1.35 million Hong Kong dollars in cash that the three women had prepared on the altar. This amount was based on their ages, with each year being worth 10,000 Hong Kong dollars as an offering for the ritual. Lee then asked them to kneel in front of the altar, and he promised that after the ritual, their worries would disappear. After the fake ritual, Lee took the three women and two underage children to the living room, kitchen, bathroom, and two bedrooms. He made them drink the pre-prepared water with cyanide, and soon they died in agony. After the plan was successfully carried out, Lee hung up a red thread, scissors, and a mirror at the entrance and left 3 notes to confuse the police. Then, he took all the cash with him. On that day, he took the stolen money and fled back to China with his mistress. Due to the disappearance of the large sum of money, the police began to suspect Lee of being involved in a major crime and immediately called him, hoping he would cooperate with the investigation. On the phone, Lee claims that he was being pursued by someone in China and needed to go back. He also stated that he did not have enough money to return to Hong Kong. He believed that as long as he stayed in China, he would be safe from the crime he committed in Hong Kong. However, the police soon found Lee's fingerprints left on the doorknob at the residence in Telford Gardens. Through a search of Lee's residence, the police found 2 pieces of paper, a rubber band, and a blue neon rope tied in the knob. The bank employees who deal with Lee Chun-lai and Tsui Shun-kam identified the rubber band and neon rope as the one used by the band to bundle money, and the knot was tied in a unique way that only one Taiwanese employee used. She happens to be the one who served Lin and Tsai and handled their withdrawals that day.
forensic aspect used a spectral light source to extract fingerprints from a room outside the door, and the 9 fingerprints found on the paper and neon rope matched the one found outside the door. After ruling out the fingerprints of the band employees and Lee's sister, it was temporarily determined that the fingerprints found on the door, paper, and neon rope belonged to Lee. The Guangdong Public Security Bureau officially issued a warrant for Lee's arrest. In the end, after a comprehensive search, Li Yuhui, who was hiding with his mistress, was finally caught on September 15, 1998 in Wuhan, China. All the stolen money was recovered, and the case was tried in China. In March of the following year, he was found guilty of intentionally homicide and robbery and was sentenced to death with all his assets confiscated. He had appealed, but the court rejected it, and he was executed on April 20 of that same year. This case of a Feng Shui master committing murder for financial gain was finally closed. After the murder in Unit 501 of Block C, many residents claim to have experienced terrifying supernatural events, causing many to move out due to the pressure. Due to the coincidence 90 years ago, for many years, there were rumors that Lam Chun-lai and others were caused by the revengeful spirits who died unjustly. On the evening of July 22, 1979, Telford Gardens, which was just a construction site, had 5 workers and 1 laborer taking 2 bags of cement to the 11th floor using the temporary elevator in Building C. When the elevator reached the 9th floor, it suddenly lost weight and fell. The workers on the 11th floor and those on the ground heard the loud sound and rushed to the scene. Using crowbars and tools to pry open the severely compressed elevator door, they were all covered in blood. The scene was extremely horrifying. Despite the efforts of emergency personnel, all 6 workers died. And 90 years later, on the same day of July 22, another murder of 6 people occurred in Telford Gardens. Such a bizarre coincidence had also led to the legend of revengeful spirit haunting this place. Whether or not there are ghosts, Unit 501 of Building C became a haunted house due to the simultaneous death of 5 people. The owner invited religious practitioners to perform rituals, and the units eventually sold in 2007. The new owner in 2011 tried to sell the units, even offering a price 40% lower than the market value, but it remained unsold for at least 7 years.